And it's live. Good evening, everybody, and welcome to another round of the IIRL Season 9. This is round 12 of our realistic tier this Thursday evening, and it is the Miami Autodrome interchange. I don't know. It's Miami, and it is a sprint weekend. Our drivers are not looking forward to this, but I know I am, and I think.
Yeah, I am too, listening to how they're taking this on in I believe my 16th stream today.
Congratulations on making it to that 16th race. What are we thinking for this race? Of course, it is a. I have no idea.
I've sorted, don't worry.
Perfect. Good evening, Nico. I hope you're very well, and I hope you can finally get that pole that you have been dreaming of. Um, Ethan saying wet quali. I
Not
hope
as dry
so.
as a bone out there right now.
So wet quali, not sprint. So it looks like maybe we're in for a wet short quali. Of course, it is the final sprint race of the season, which does mean that we have short sprint qualifying, short sprint, 50% sprint, short feature race qualifying, and 50% race. First out on track will be Rothwell, who is making his return to realistic tier this week. He had a little attempt on Tuesday, but didn't end up racing. Good evening, Alex. I hope you're very well, and hope you're looking forward to this race. But we do get underway with a couple of drivers coming out on track. There is a Williams, which will be Killian, coming out on track, both on the medium sets of tyres, as they only have one allocated softs and they're saving it for the end.
Yeah, that is the best choice around here. The tyre wear quite high, especially on their softs, despite it being preferred for the one lap pace. The key areas to be looking out here for are the areas around turn 14, 15, and 16, particularly tight part of the track that can catch you out, despite the fact Miami has been changed this year. Obviously, a few drivers on the medium, some electing for the softs. We're seeing Nico, Ethan, and was admitting doing such thing. We'll have to see. Obviously, the mediums on the one lap pace will be slower, but this will be an ultimate test of how the cars work in our realistic tier and the driver skill.
Exactly, of course, that is one of the things that we strived for in this realistic tier, was having close gaps, which has worked quite a lot for the majority of the season. You have had the likes of DeflatedWee and Cod Camper in the Saubers competing with Alessio in the racing, the RB and the Alpine when he has been racing. Rothwell getting us underway now on his first quali run of the session on the mediums, as Cod Camper joins back into the session. Coming through the right-hander now, you can see Rothwell loading up a bit of battery. He doesn't want to use too much. Of course, you want to use the majority of it down the long straight with the DRS. Of course, we've got a mix of drivers using racing line and no racing line, so anything is possible. Rothwell setting the fast sector one. Of course, he is the first driver on track to do so. He's using not as much battery as I would expect, looking at his telemetry, but that still does give him a lot of battery to play with for the second straight towards the final corner. Going through Mickey Mouse right now, you've got to be very careful not to hit the wall and not to validate over the curb. And round the corner there, he sets fast sector 2 with a 102.3, and he burns. You've just got to burn through this. I found in my sort of practice, you've just got to burn, but he's not burning as much as I would have thought. And he will come through for the final corner. You've got to be careful very much to not lock up onto the power very early, not go onto the off-track section. You lose a lot of grip, and he goes to the line, setting us off with a 127.5.
127.5 for Rothwell, a strong time on those fresh mediums. He's got a few others ahead on the slower cars. Faster drivers naturally, I should say. But those with the soft words evade me today should have the naturally
Yes.
fast. I'm saying that word a lot. Faster first laps.
Yes, Killian also across the line, 4 tenths quicker, putting himself on provisional pole. Nico is up next and puts himself into provisional pole. He is 2 tenths quicker than Killian as it currently stands. Next up will be Ethan, who has had a bit of a tough time as of late, but he goes provisional pole as it currently stands. Leo up next, then goes provisional pole, and then I believe Wizard Mitten has just started a run along with Alex. Wizard Mitten is actually finishing a lap and goes 6th fastest with a 29.1. Then up next is going to be one of the Red Bulls, which is Prince Helios, and he goes P6. And then Padge is... That's not Padge.
Alessio.
Who is that? That was Alessio, my apologies. Goes 4th, and Codcamper has just started a run now. So we'll go on board with Alex for his first run. We've gone purple of the people on track as it currently stands. Of course, Alex is in the McLaren this week, and as he has been for most weeks, he is running the chrome livery, which is just very nice to look at. I wonder if Wizard Mitten is also running the chrome livery. That would be quite cool to see.
Not.
They're both. Oh, so 50% of the McLaren garage is running a different paint setup. Alex now, he's got a lot of battery to play with. It's very long straight. This is one of those tracks where you want a quite low wing setup, or do you want it to be? Well, you got to figure out the balance between the first sector and the two straights.
What the penultimate corner is there for Alex.
Yeah, he's got loads of battery to the line. Doesn't take the fastest best line, but he does put himself ahead of his teammate, which then means that next up to the line is going to be Codcamper. He, of course, is our championship leader ahead of DeflatedWee and Alessio. He has been in the Sauber for the majority of the season, so can he produce another great qualifying? Puts himself P5 just behind one of his championship rivals, Alessio, and that is very, very close times there between Codcamper and Alessio. That is, I can never remember, I think it's 4 thousandths, but never mind. That guy is next to the line and does go P7 in the Aston Martin, just a little bit off Killian. And DeflatedWee is up next, who is currently second in the championship standings, after pulling a win last week in Monza. And he comes through to the final corner now. He's got a great exit there, goes onto that the off-track section, which of course is very risky, but he feels confident enough to take it and puts himself... Okay. He puts himself on pole. By 6 tenths. That is a great lap there from DeflatedWee. And now Padge is up next. Good evening, Johnny B. I hope you are very well, my friend. Nico has a sprint pole. Oh. And Killian, congratulations on reaching a 7-stream streak, as Padge is just finishing off his first sector hairpin now, as now he will enter the very, very long straight. As he burns battery, he's got a lot of battery to play with on the run down to turn 11. It's very, very hard braking zone because it is slightly on a bend from a straight, and then you enter this very, very slow section that is very much referred to the Mickey Mouse. So you've got to be very careful not to hit that wall on the right hand side, because they have moved it in for this game. And now Padge will enter the long straight to put his head down, put everything down. He is on the soft tyre, so this will be his last run in qualifying unless he goes again. Johnny B, what were you stuffing your face with? So Padge enters final call. He's gone wide and he's hit the wall. No, Padge, no. We're still
right end plate damage for him.
Yeah, we're still on the quest to get Padge I believe his first win in the league. He'll go P13, just 6 tenths off Wizard Mitten. That was looking to be a good lap there for Padge. You got a couple of drivers out on outlaps now, getting ready for their final runs, as Padge goes into the wall, destroying his left front wing end plate. So Padge is having a fun time out there. First car out on track to start a run will be Wizard Mitten, who is currently running P12. He is going to be the next driver to hopefully to make it into the 28s, and we'll see how he can compare to his teammate Alex, who is currently P11. He's got a 4/10 gap to make up as he enters the final corner now to start his lap.
Yeah, there's a bit inside his final lap. A newer drivers, relatively new driver to the league, is making his 16th race start here, looking to get one of his first podiums as well as he enters the turn 1 braking zone where you want to brake at the 100 and carry the speed through, not burning too much of the battery too early on in this lap, and avoiding the curves where it can catch you out. And we've seen in practice, it can put the drivers in the wall with damage if you take it with too much speed. He goes slightly wide through the SS section here, up to the tight long left-hander, where you have to tap the brake usually. It's the way we retires with provision pole. And he's now going down the back straight, purple sector 1, I believe that is, but that is not
5/10
entirely
improvement.
representative. Yes, 5/10 improvement, I think would put him around his teammate, currently in P11. Now as he enters the Mickey Mouse section, the tightest part of the track, feeling in the car. Place that you can get caught out, although the chicane has been changed for you to that god-awful sausage curve out. The first part of it is now he is entering the back straight. He's a man with 13-point finishes in 15 races he's done so far. He's looking to improve that today with the 2-point finishing chances on offer in the sprint and feature race. Now coming up to one of the final corners of the track, braking between the DHL board and the 100 down to second gear. He puts the power on. Not too wide from the McLaren driver in the non-chrome livery. Looking to best his teammate for sure. Up to the line. That is a improvement to a 28.1
And
for
he will go ahead of his teammate, which means next up to the line is Leo. He is 2.5 tenths up, which is not currently enough to beat that pole time of DeflatedWee. But as he goes across the line now, he is within a tenth of DeflatedWee, and then we have an Aston Martin of Flippilister starting a run. So checkered flag is out now that Leo has gone straight on into the wall. Very, very funny there. Next up to the line is going to be Alessio. He is 4/10 up and currently P2 in the Drivers' Championship. Goes P3 at the moment. Prince Helios is up next, goes P7 in the... So Wizard Mitten is out of qualifying. Nico goes pole! Nico goes pole!
First pole position for Nico.
I am
and he's on
so
the
sorry that
controller.
I didn't catch it on the screen. I apologise, Nico, for that.
By less than 20,000 socks.
Next up is that guy goes P5. Then it's Ethan. Can he take the pole off? Ethan goes P5. Next up is going to be Killian, who is invalidated. Then it's Rothwell. And last but not least, it is Cod Camper and Flippilister. Rothwell goes P4. Will Cod take it off him? P4 for Cod Camper. This is massive. If Flippilister, this could be it. This could be it. We got Flippilister last to cross the line along with Leo, but I think Leo is done for this session. So that means that Nico is going to be on pole for the sprint race.
For the second time, I've just realised, stop checking my notes, he has on the previous sprint pole position, but a second one for him, he's looking to get another podium in general. He's got 3 so far.
He is still waiting for that feature race pole, but at the moment Nico is on pole for the sprint race and he will be starting on pole, just a mere 200ths ahead of DeflatedWee, and those are some very, very close times that we can see there. Congratulations, Nico. And Killian saying in the chat that he was typing in the chat and forgot about how much time was left in the session to go out again. And that is the end of the short sprint qualifying here. Nico is on pole, DeflatedWee P2, Leo P3, Cod Camper Championship leader P4, Rothwell P5 on his return, Alessio P6, Ethan P7, Flippilister P8, that guy P9, Prince Helios P10, Killian P11, Alex P12, Wizard Mitten P13, Padge P14.
Yeah, just like to
Wow.
bring up, made a very funny meme in the realistic tier paddock about Nico doing well in practice and not in the races, and he's saying it aged very well. Well, that is an interesting one to see when you juxtapose it with an amazing result like that. Nico getting obviously his second sprint pole position, looking to get improved on that and get a first sprint win in IIRL.
Exactly, he is on pole, so he does have it in his hand as it currently stands. He is in the faster car of the Mercedes compared to DeflatedWee's Sauber and Leo's Alpine. So, when it comes to the aerodynamics of the car, as well as the tyre wear and the way the car handles, Nico is going to be much better off, you would imagine, in this sprint race than anything else. Oh, we are entering a couple of minutes break just for the sprint race. That way, drivers can do whatever they want. They don't need setups anymore, so hopefully they're all fine and dandy. As well as strategies. Of course, on Tuesday, as Tacit would have been watching,
Indeed.
Camper did try his hand on the hard tyres. I believe he got taken out on lap one, which is very unfortunate with a bit of a bump in the rear end. But he still really did finish in the sprint race on Tuesday.
Oh, I can't remember to be honest. I'd have to drag up the results.
So is the hard towards the end of the sprint of this 10-lap sprint race looking like a decent tyre maybe to use if you can stay within the pack and you've got the pace?
Naturally, if you can stay in that DRS train, the hards and the mediums will be good. The hards, obviously, towards the end will allow you to push that bit more should you manage your tyres well. Obviously, and I believe the tyre wear of the hards is roughly 2% less a lap. So I think the hards could be a good choice towards the end, given you can stay in that pack and avoid any instance, such as that we had, I believe on the sprint race on Tuesday, we had a major incident. So the hards could be a good choice, but they're certainly a rogue one.
Exactly. We'll have to see if anyone does decide. I'm expecting to see a lot of medium tyre selections. But, when it comes to the actual racecraft, we might have to wait and see. We've got Johnny B in the chat supporting his A assist tier teammate of Nico. They are in the Aston Martin together on Sundays, looking to try and catch up to the V Carb duo and the Williams duo in the Constructors' Championship. The
Yeah,
the love
indeed.
being shared between those two.
Yeah, that is always great to see. And so, roughly the tyre wear here, the hards we're looking at a roughly 5%, and the mediums it's roughly 7%. So, as I said, 2% tyre wear average difference between them per lap.
There's Wizard Mitten is in our chat saying that he is struggling through the curvy sections of the track. Looking at his qualifying lap, he does look like he takes a wider line through the S section at the end of the first sector. I feel like maybe if a tighter line was taking, it might set him up for the left hander a bit more, the long left hander. But I don't know if you saw, Ethan has decided to leave his car on the grid, so he will be turning into ghost mode as he joins back now, maybe just in time. But his formation lap will be a bit longer. Hopefully, he gets the strategy that he wants and the fuel that he wants. Of course, luckily it is only the sprint race, so he won't miss out on much. As we're just about to get underway, as we'll have to wait and see to see what strategies people have decided to do. I don't think Cod Camper will be trying the hard tires again.
Yeah,
As
the
Johnny,
hard tyres for him were, I apologise to butt in
you're
so
fine.
suddenly, were a good choice for him. They allowed him to be more conservative, more consistent throughout the sprint race, and obviously push it towards the end when some others had a far worse tyre wear than him. Obviously, that will work out differently, so perhaps the hard tyres on the Sauber will be a good choice as we now are lights out with two green lights in formation.
Exactly, and as we get tyres. Our pole sitter of Nico has decided to start on that hard tyre. DeflatedWee is on the mediums, so DeflatedWee and Leo will be looking to fly away ahead of Nico to see if they can make their way past. Only 3 drivers in this 14 driver grid have selected the hard compound of tyre, one of them being our pole sitter Nico, one of them being the same drivers that selected it on Tuesday of Cod Camper and that guy. Everyone else has decided for the medium compound of tyre, as Johnny B saying that he's going to get a beer and watch along with us. It depends what beer you're getting, my friend. As long as it's a good beer, it's fine. As what sort of starts we expecting? We're expecting Nico to get a much slower start compared to DeflatedWee and Leo, but of course it is a very short run to the line. I think it's one of the shortest in the Formula 1 calendar, if I'm not so mistaken.
It's definitely not a long one, that's for sure. Nico will be looking to get a good getaway, not DSQ on the line on his grid box. But DeflatedWee and Leo prioritising the very near future and not the long term. I think Cod Camera definitely has a chance though off the line. Within a few laps after the line, especially he's in the Sauber, which roughly has 3 times worse tyre wear, equal performance cars. He could save himself some pain in the long run. But the hard run is prioritising the long run, the medium run is the present. And now we're lining up for the grid for the sprint race, the 3rd and final one of the realistic tier season.
Exactly. Johnny B saying that he's got a Corona. He's gone for one of the better beers. I just hope he doesn't get an illness again. But if you do, you'll probably end up winning a race, so I don't think
Just
it's
like
the end
Australia.
of the world. Exactly. Got every single driver lining us up on the grid now. You
Nico
see
pointed his
lovely little
tyre
helmets.
slightly right there.
Exactly. Nico looking to defend against DeflatedWee, as Ethan was the last car to pull into his grid box as we get on the way. 3, 4, 5 red lights, and it's a long way, but away they fly and down into the run, into turn 1. Now you can see the start that Nico got is enough to keep himself ahead. Leo looking around the outside of DeflatedWee. He's looking to stick it in. They're very generous of space there. Overtakes in the background. Alex getting past his teammate, and I believe that guy also getting past Flipperlister. Padge and Wizard Mitten swapping places as well. DeflatedWee looking like he's got a poor start. He's got a 7/10 gap to Nico as it currently stands. Padge has got past Alex, and Wizard Mitten getting past, having a lovely battle there. Rothwell is round into the wall. That is not enough for a safety car, but he has got wing damage, so that is potentially the end of Rothwell's race, a sprint race there. He had a great qualifying, put himself into, I think it was P5. Alessio has just always making a move on Ethan into the Mickey Mouse. They are still side by side into the section. You do not want to be side by side into this Mickey Mouse section, so Ethan does surrender there, as everyone following through very nicely, other than Rothwell, who is at the back of the grid. But Nico has got a very good start, and we'll see how it goes with under DRS. Rothwell getting a 3-second time penalty.
Yeah, I'm just watching it now, and he's got significant damage on the left side of his front wing, and he's just cut the chicane naturally, giving him that 3-second penalty. What an unlucky start for the Ferrari driver on his 60th race start in IIRL. Nico set the fastest lap of the race, 31.6, but Rothwell having probably the start from hell.
Always Killian making a move on the outside. Sorry to interrupt you there, Tacit, but these two are having a lovely battle. Killian is still there on the outside, and Rothwell does retire from this section. Prince Helios is sticking it in for the S section, but Killian does manage to stay ahead. That battle has cost them DRS to Flipperlister though. Good evening, Willow. I hope you are very well, my friend. What track do you have tonight for the wall? Back up to the front. DeflatedWee has managed to catch up, or at least stay within DRS of Nico. He looks for a move. There's contact between the two. It looked like DeflatedWee maybe went for a late lunge there, but there just was not space enough for it. Cod Camper has yet to make a move or attempt a move against Leo, so that hard tyre proving not to be good enough just yet for his strategy yet. But there is a DRS chain which can be both good or bad to see. It does look like DeflatedWee is now going for the move on Nico, as he does into the final corner, so that will give DeflatedWee the lead of this race. Flipperlister also getting past that guy, but I might have to fire the TV crew because they did not show us the overtake when I wanted it. Nico not looking for any moves just yet, and it looks like they're all trying to be super safe. Willow saying it is Silverstone's night, so yeah, no one's a real fan of Silverstone in this world this season or this year, so I hope it goes well, but I hope you try and enjoy it to the best of your ability. There is a train, or at least Killian is trying his best to catch up to this train. Of course, his battle with Prince Helios.
Leo going for the overtake on Cod Camper going for the overtake. Leo, he gets that with the help of the DRS. Now he's burning his battery, roughly around the same level for both of those drivers. And now he gets that overtake. Cod Camper now for third. It's a Sauber 2-3 in this Miami sprint.
And that guy also making the move on his teammate with those hard tyres. Alex also getting past his teammate of Wismitten. And Leo's out! Leo is out of this session. He's hit the wall. He has hit the
Safety
inside
car.
wall by the looks out of it. There is no safety car in this sprint race. There is no safety car. The safety car has not been brought out. From the placement of his car, it looks like it was Leo. Leo went into the wall as Flipperlister has got past Leo. I'm really sorry that we do not have a replay camera because this game does not allow it. But it does look like Leo has gone out into the inside wall, maybe had an attempt at a move, but always the Flipperlister he's cut over the curb to try and overtake his teammate of that guy. Flipperlister's round! Oh, no one has come in contact. He went into ghost mode at the right time.
He's retired on track.
That is a retirement for Flipperlister. We go back
retiring on track.
As we go back to the front of the grid now. Nico is fighting DeflatedWee, and that is very interesting there. But
yeah,
that is
an interesting one. Sorry to butt in there, Socks. I know you're enjoying commentating this amazing action we have weekly here in the Realistic Tier if you'd like to join. Now, focusing on Nico specifically, he's kept it relatively clean, although he's bending off. Threats on Cod Camper for the overtake right now. He's sitting behind DeflatedWee, recharging the battery pack. Although now we've got Cod Camper, he's looking like he's going to go for a move. He's burning the battery. I just realised Nico is actually out the RS as well. He's going to get that move up to P2 for Cod Camper. Nico down from first to third.
Exactly, but Nico looking like he just went into the back of Cod Camper there. These three are looking at escaping the train. Alessio is now 1.6 seconds back of this front train, as Wismitten also gets past his teammate and Ethan has been passed by both that guy and Killian in the Aston Martin and Williams respectively. As Williams are having a lovely the McLarens are having a lovely ding-dong battle at the back. We are halfway through this sprint race. Cod Camper is now looking at overtaking DeflatedWee.
Yeah, the front three's tyres, the rear tyres I'm just seeing on their onboards are very warm. I'm seeing the effects of the tyre weight. Light tyre as well, so now at this halfway point in the sprint race, it's going to be out-managing tyres with those, especially the Saubers who are leading, and those on the medium tyres obviously being the majority.
Exactly, it's going to be very interesting to see how this race unfolds as Cod Camper through Mickey Mouse, looking like there was maybe space for a move, but he backs out at the last moment. He does not want to try for an overtake where it is not necessary to. He has got the DRS on DeflatedWee, going into the final corner, but he is not going to try and make a move just yet. He wants to see DeflatedWee lead the pack. He is on the what would be the quicker tyres for maybe a couple of laps. Killian getting past that guy into the final corner, as well as another little couple battles going on with Smitten looking around the outside of his teammate, and that is a great attempt at a move there from Wizard Mitten.
Sorry to butt in again, toss that guy overtaking me, not me, Killian, and he leads that DRS train from 5th, 6th, and 7th.
Exactly, those three are going to be battling till the end of this race. Alessio has also caught up back into the pack.
Yep, he's joined that leading pack. We've got a lot of field spread here. We've got our leading pack, those behind him, 5th, 6th, and 7th. And then we've got Prince Helios and his Padge, his teammate. And then with Alex fighting for P11. Well, fighting for P1, we've got Cod Camper on the outside.
Cod Camper making the move on his makeshift teammate for the night. That's a very nice move there from Cod Camper. He has made the move and he's got 4 laps to try and use his fresher tyre wear as Wizard Mitten goes off track at the end of the DRS straight. Cod Camper now having to fend off DeflatedWee, as DeflatedWee looks for a fake and then goes for the move. They are going to be side by side through the final corner. They are going to be very, very generous and make sure they give each other enough space. It is only a sprint race, but they have a lot of points on offer. It will be 10 points for the winner of this race, and it'll be 10 points through one from 1st to 10th even. So they do not want to be missing out, because every little, even though it'll only be a point difference between them in the championship, that point by the end of the season, if Cod Camper does fall behind DeflatedWee even more, or Alessio in the standings, that could mean big things for whoever wins the first ever edition of Realistic Tier in IIRL. Yeah, Willow, I will know. I won't read that one out. Yeah, here in Miami. Miami.
Yeah, Miami, that's what we're calling it now. But what we're going to have to call is if Nico is going to be ready to defend from Alessio, as Cod Camper is fighting with his team at P1. It's very close. Alessio looking like he does not want to wait too much longer for the move, but Nico also sticking his front end into the business and what's going on with the fight for P1 as well.
There's a very similar attempt from DeflatedWee that Cod Camper made in the previous lap. Unfortunately, DeflatedWee not able to make it stick this time around. So Cod Camper is definitely going to be looking to escape from this train. Nico is going to be looking for a way past DeflatedWee with 3 laps to go. Now you're expecting for DeflatedWee and Alessio's tyres to maybe be wearing off a bit more. Nico is going to be wanting to look for a move on DeflatedWee where he can try and get his maiden sprint win in IRL. There's a lock up there, big lock up there from DeflatedWee. That is very big. He is struggling. This is going to allow Cod Camper to get maybe even out of DRS. The DRS detection point is after the long left-hander. It currently is 9/10. There's over a second. DeflatedWee has lost DRS. This is going to put him into a very big hot of bother to not only Nico but also to Alessio. So we'll watch with Nico now as he goes down the straight. Does he have enough ERS to play with? Unfortunately, the camera angle I use in this game does not allow me to see the steering wheel, but he is not going to be close. And more likely, Alessio is going for the move on Nico.
Yeah, close action here through the tight section. I'm not exactly sure why Alessio thinks he's twice to go for a move here, as I believe they've just lost a DRS DeflatedWee.
Yes, they have. Oh, yeah, DeflatedWee is now out of DRS range, so they do have another 2 laps. They really should be working together here. Good luck, Willow, in your race tonight.
Good luck, Willow.
See,
Alessio looking for the overtake here, by the way, Tom.
Alessio making the move on Nico, and we'll see if Alessio has the pace to be able to catch up to DeflatedWee. But right now the gap is 1.6 seconds. They do have, it is the penultimate lap of the sprint race. So we'll have to wait and see.
Close action between the front three. Alessio going for that move has cost both him and those behind, including Nico, their chance of challenging the top two Salvers, who have essentially gotten away with any mistakes they've made up to that point. That most costly overtake from him, although there's still that important fight for P3. Nico looking to minimize the damage he got after this race so far, looking to gain P3, another podium for him. One of his first, obviously, generally, but another one indeed.
Something I forgot to mention is that guy does have a 3 second time penalty, which will push him down to P7. So he is very unfortunate for a sprint race, which he has been he's very very close to Nico, who is also on the back of Alessio. So Alessio has lost out to DeflatedWee now that his tyres has gone off after he made the move. Nico is definitely going to be looking for the move, maybe into the left-hander after the first DRS straight, or into the final corner. But we are expecting DRS games to be played. I had my own DRS battle with Powen on Tuesday.
Yeah, but as Nico is defending here, the DRS games, like you say, slots are going to be present on this lap. You'll be looking to hopefully stay behind in P2 for the final strict DRS rate. P1 is not where you're going to want to be out on the exit of turn 16.
Will Alessio allow Nico to get past him, or will Nico overtake? Good luck, Johnny B. I hope your practice goes well.
Good luck, Johnny B. And good luck to Nico.
Nico looking, he's not close enough for this straight, so he maybe was holding back a little bit, but he should have the tyre wear. It is maybe in the last lap, maybe Alessio's tyres maybe would have hit the 60% mark, depending how good he is with his tyres. So because Alessio is not within DRS, so Nico is going to be burning his entire battery now, as we will wait and see if he is gaining. He's got 0.3 of a second, but he is two. It's two. Nico goes on the racing line. Alessio defends round the outside. Hod Camper is going to cross the line for his win. Wizardman getting 3 seconds. DeflatedWee P2, and Nico will cross the line P3. Alessio P4. Killian will come across the line and gain P5. Ethan P6. That guy will cross the line P5 but get P7. Prince Helios P8. Padge will cross the line P9. A lovely little battle between those two Red Bulls. And we will then have Alex, who will cross the line in P10, getting the last points paying position for the sprint race, as then Wizardsmitten will come across the line to finish P11. Yeah, that was a good race from you, Nico. You still got on the podium, so I don't think there's anything to complain about there.
Yeah, unlucky for you, Nico. I do think Alessio's overtake on you essentially doomed your chances of getting P3 on track. Unless he did get it on track, I may be wrong. But that overtake from Alessio did put you off from DRS.
And that is the end of the sprint race called Camber crossing line P1 after starting P4. DeflatedWee staying P2. Nico P3 after starting on pole. Alessio P4. Killian from 11th to 5th. Ethan P6. That guy P7. Prince Helios P8. Padge P9. Alex P10. Wizardmitten P11. Flipperlister, Leo and Rothwell all DNFing. Now,
unlucky to those who DNF'd. Oh, I've interrupted you. Sorry about that, Socks.
you are fine. Now it is on for the qualifying, which apparently is wet.
Oh, the weatherman was correct. Ethan B4810 again giving us the correct weather. Now we will ask you not to press the red button, as there are alternatives available if you're not in the UK. Additionally, we now have the wet qualifying, which will definitely throw a spanner in the works, Socks.
Exactly. Of course, drivers would be allowed to change their setup for the
Goodbye.
qualifying. They would be allowed to change the setup for the qualifying, but this is the only wet session of the race weekend. So, when it comes to it, you don't really want to change your setup for a session that's only going to be worth no, it's going to be worth no points. You want to set yourself up for the race and just kind of deal with it. So we may, we may see some out of position drivers having to fight their way through the field. A first out on the lap, or first out of the pit garage, will be Wizard Mitten, who will be on the intermediates.
Yep, on the intermediates, the best tyres, no matter what, in the wet conditions, and no matter how severe they are, strangely. But as the drivers enter the track, it's very different to the dry sessions we just had in the spring. Where the wet around Miami will create a different level of grip naturally, and that will challenge the drivers and the different level of pace these cars have as well.
Exactly, we are we can see that drivers are running low wing setups, so braking zones may be very, very difficult for them, as it maybe there is a split of dry weather, as Rothwell has selected the soft tyres, so maybe it is going to get dry enough before the end of the session, so that way there's no point of going out on the intermediates by any means necessary. So Rothwell is looking at taking that risk, but about 3/4 of the grid have decided to come out on track, maybe just in case, and I believe it has already stopped raining.
No, it's still raining ever so slightly,
It
so
is.
I'm seeing a few of the drops on track.
I,
Is
I,
it so? Is it set to dry towards the end?
maybe Rothwell has selected the soft tyre in the pit lane, so it maybe is looking, maybe like there could be a bit of dry weather towards the end. I thought there was no rain because I got stuck with a camera angle that I couldn't see any raindrops on, but we can clearly see that it is raining, as yellow flags are out in sector 3, but as just people slowing down for the start of their first runs. Nothing too serious there, no one is crashing out yet. Couple of drivers starting a run at the moment. Wizard Mitten is first, that guy is second, and I believe Cod Camper and DeflatedWee are third and fourth, not in that particular order. Wizard Mitten setting the purple sector 1 as it currently stands. He is the first driver to do a lap, so that is why. If you would like an onboard, please request it. We can't do multiple at once, unfortunately, but if you request so humbly and nicely, we may be willing to give it to you. Please do not press red button, because we does not exist, but you can use your channel points if you would like.
Yeah, we does not exist it indeed. Sorry to butt in there, socks. Now, Wizard Mitten obviously the one setting the pace out on track as it stands, but obviously setting that purple sector 2 and sector 1 of those. How relative that is, we do not know, other than McLaren. In these conditions, with that added downforce we've seen it have in real F1, could be helpful in these wet conditions where the grip will be lower.
Exactly, Wizard Mitten having a good final corner there. He will cross the line to set a 1:36.5, so that's a good start there from that guy. We'll use it to compare it to that guy, use that Wizard Mitten lap time, as that guy will set a 36.3, so 2/10 quicker. Then Cod Camper will set a 35 and he spins over the line. That is very, very interesting there. DeflatedWee will be next and go just behind Cod Camper, as I believe that is Killian starting a lap. Thank you. Oh, he goes P3. I thought he was starting a lap. I wasn't able to see him. Alessio is next to the line for first runs and goes P4. Nico goes P1 in that Mercedes.
3/10, just under.
He has got 3/10 of a second. Leo in that Alpine going P2. Of course, not hoping to recreate the sprint race and the feature race, but Prince Helios goes P4. I mean, everyone is out on a lap currently, has done one, and that just leaves Flipperlister and Rothwell, who are currently on track who are on their outlaps. Rothwell not deciding to wait for a dry weather period, so maybe it is not coming after all. We've still got 12
Well,
minutes left of the session to find out.
yeah, well, indeed, we'll have to see. Rothwell obviously thinking that the gamble is not worth it. As it stands, obviously, you got Nico looking for his first ever feature pole position in this league. He's starting to get it, and in these positions, he seemingly has the pace in that very good car, which he may get downgraded next week, depending on how well he does naturally. But Rothwell and the other man on track doing a lap with Lister. We'll have to see if it's any better grip for him.
Yeah, Filipinista at the moment just exiting the final part of Sector 1. He had a very big drift onto the turn 3, but he hasn't spun out, unlike what happened in the sprint race. That did retire him, but he's managed to keep it going at the moment. He didn't slide around too much, but there was still a slide there. As now he goes into turn 11, doesn't use all of the curb on the right hand side, maybe just trying to get a feeler for the conditions. That guy and Wizard Mitten also setting the soft tyres in the pit lane, so maybe there is rain. The rain is going to stop. Maybe it's going to be a tight one at the end, very similar to I think it was Imola last season, where DeflatedWee was one of the only ones to go out on softs in no assist, and came out on pole, being the only driver getting to grips with the conditions quick enough. Flipperlister coming into the final corner now, doesn't use all of the curb on the left hand side, and doesn't uses the off-road as well. Flipperlister coming to the line now, and he will go P134. He's the first driver into the 34s, which means that Ethan is starting a run now, but Rothwell is coming through the Mickey Mouse section, goes over the curb there at Mickey, and onto Mouse. He will exit, doesn't get a fishtail as I did on Tuesday, but Rothwell using all of his battery now. He's got loads left to play with. He doesn't use it all. He's got loads of ERS left for his lap time, but maybe just not feeling comfortable with the reins. DeflatedWee, I didn't realise was on another lap, so that is apologies. He goes fastest. He's 6 tenths quicker than Alessio. Rothwell will go up to P5, 55.2, 35.2, and Cod Camper will go fastest behind him. Maybe got a tow from Rothwell and goes 8 tenths quicker, I think.
Yeah, we will.
And Nico goes fastest. Nico goes fastest. Wow. Very, very close times there. The track is drying. I believe it is now stopped raining. The camera angles I was seeing did not allow for that, so it does look like it is stopped raining. That guy will get a test for the conditions, because that guy is out there on the soft compounder tyres. We've got 9 minutes left of the session, so the track will get drier towards the end, and we will be seeing some very, very quick runs at the end of this qualifying session.
Yeah, you're okay for interrupting there, Socks, but we've got Ethan up to the line. Obviously, the Inter not being the tyres anymore, but he sets the pole time of 33.2. This track is evolving very quickly, as you say. It must be like races of the past where qualifying has evolved due to the changing weather conditions. Our favourite type of qualifying, where it's so tough for the drivers.
Exactly. We're going to watch that guy for his lap, because I want to get a gauge of how the conditions are.
We'll have to see if he's that guy.
Or slide.
Conditions with the softs.
Maybe a slight slide there. He's sliding. He is sliding through sector 1 here. Track maybe just not there yet, as he enters this left-right snaky section here. He is the only driver on track on the softs, as Leo goes fastest, as I believe Nico will be coming into the pit lane or starting a run now. That guy is up 3.4 seconds up on his best lap time, which would put him comfortably into the top 5 at the minimum. Prince Helios is coming out on track on the intermediate, and Alex is coming out on the soft tyres, so he is following in that guy's lead.
drive very quickly on this track as well here at the Miami International Autodrome.
Exactly. That guy now up 5.9 seconds, up from his best lap time of a 36.3. So the track is
Yeah,
definitely dry.
yeah, it's definitely dry to say so, and it's evolving a lot currently. That guy will be in the 1 minute 29s from the 1 minute 36 he set on the inters. Now he's going to line, and that will be the 129.1.
He will go on provisional pole for now. We are expecting quicker times to come, but as it currently stands, he is on provisional pole. Prince Helios is on an outlap on the intermediates, maybe deciding to try it. No, he comes into the pit lane, so Prince Helios is thinking that it is going to be too dry. Leo also coming into the pit lane after going on provisional pole, then P2, which does mean that next driver to cross the line for a lap is going to be Alex, so we'll see what Alex can do. Nico in the chat saying that he loves rain. Yeah, I love rain too. I don't like driving in it, but I love watching people drive in the rain. Now, Alex now coming into turn 1. A very nice line there, looking very sharp. So it doesn't use all of the curb on the right hand side of turn 2, so maybe not feeling overly comfortable with it as it currently stands. Maybe the conditions are still trying to learn the conditions. Through the S section now, it doesn't use the curb, so he's not feeling too comfortable, doesn't want to invalidate his lap as it currently stands, as I believe they get 3 sets of softs maybe, or 2, depending which tyre allocation they have selected. Down the straight now, Alex is going to burn a lot of his battery, as he should be doing. Yeah, again, doesn't use all of the curb on the right hand side. And going through Mickey Mouse now, he takes a very nice line through there, doesn't hit the wall, so that's good. Uses the curb there, very nice line. Get onto the power quickly. Set a purple sector 2 of people that are currently on track. We've got about half the drivers on track. Some of them are on run, so I'll bring you that when they come in. Alex coming to the final corner now, as you will see if he can get traction. Is very difficult on the final corner. Alex doing very, very well there. Will put himself up to fastest. Alex will go P1 as it currently stands.
Screenshot that, everybody.
Stop the count! Stop the count!
That first pole position for Alex, and the session has just been red flagged.
it has not, unfortunately, but Flipperlister is going to be next. Onto the line, he is 6.8 seconds up, I believe that said. So Alex will unfortunately lose out on his provisional pole, but next up to the line will be Rothwell, and Rothwell will go P2 just behind Flipperlister of 6/10. Ethan is starting a run now. That means Alessio comes into the pit lane after doing... He was 6 seconds up on his previous best lap time, so obviously not feeling the best with the lap. Then we have loads of people. I believe it is DeflatedWee who is going to be next to finish a run. Of course, he did win last week in Monza. He got, what was it? He got P2 in the sprint race earlier today.
I was going to say the sprint race in Monza, so you may be getting slightly confused there.
Getting muddled with 2 different stats. But DeflatedWee looking to turn his P2 in the sprint race to a P1. And we'll see if he can do it. Of course, he did win on Tuesday very convincingly to Cod Camper, who did try the 2-stop. So I doubt, if possible, Cod will not be doing the 2-stop tonight. DeflatedWee pulling into the pit lane, obviously. He knows that he's not gonna come back to the pit lane in time after setting a run to start another run, so he's deciding to finish his run early. and come into the pit lane. Padge will, I think all the drivers now will be coming into the pit lane, so we'll have to wait another minute or so until drivers come out back on track.
Yes, back on track.
As we wait, we've got two drivers now out on track for their final runs. We've got Wizardmitten and the pole sitter for the sprint race of Nico. He will be looking to turn his sprint pole position into a feature pole position, as everyone else is now starting to make their way on track.
Yeah, looking to get another pole position here.
Wizardmitten is going to be the first car to start a run.
Disconnect again, I apologise, Sox, and the view is out. But just going to have to butt in Nico, looking to not be the bridesmaid anymore in the race as well. He also wants to get, obviously, that first feature race pole position as he warms up his tyre on the back straight. Mercedes driver, perhaps not the Mercedes for much longer, if he can be successful today, will want to set the best lap possible, especially with the track so many seconds quicker now.
As Wizardmitten now is starting his final run. He is going to be the first driver to cross the line. He does give himself time. If he invalidates, he might be able to cross the line in time to start another final run. So it might work in his favour, but it does look like he is pushing now. Goes very, very nicely there through sector 1. To see the exit, he gets out of this long left-hander, and very nice, he's 3.9 seconds up on his previous best lap time, which was set during the rain period. Coming now to the left-hander at turn 11 into 12, and then very long round, and then 13 left-hander, 14 this hander, don't hit the wall, over the curve. We've got yellow flags, people letting drivers through for their final runs. Can't see how long is left, but he is 7.4 seconds up
20
on
seconds.
He's 7.4 seconds up on his best lap time, as he now burns all of his battery to the final corner, or the technical final corner, goes over the curb and through now the last couple of technical corners. It's basically just a long straight break for them. Wizardmitten will go P4. We've got sprint pole sitter Nico up next. Will he be able to convert it into a feature race pole position, as he sets a 26.3, which is just ahead of Flippilista, who's currently on a run. Next up to the line is Alessio, who's also obviously up, as his time was set during the wet period. Alessio goes P2, and then next up to the line will be Alex, who goes ahead of his teammate. Then we have the second placed man in the sprint race, DeflatedWee, who will put himself up to pole position. Camper is up next. There's very, very close times there between DeflatedWee and, in fact, all three of them are within a tenth. That is big. That was Ethan who must have had a mistake on his lap time. Rothwell is up next and will go P6. Then it is Leo who will put himself on pole. Leo is on pole in the Alpine. That guy will go P8. Flippilista also retiring from the session. Prince Helios P11, and Padge will be P something. P12. P12 for Padge. That does mean that Leo is on pole for the feature race.
Yeah, but the top three, I'll show you the top four, all within a tenth of each other as
Mate,
well.
that's
Nico saying
ridiculous.
he's happy to be in that fight. Well, this it is ridiculous, Socks, but it's not ridiculous in its tier. This is the amazing, amazing racing you see in this tier every single week. Now, with only a couple rounds left in the season, you can join if we can press do the join command, and we'd be happy for you to join.
Leo on pole, DeflatedWee P2, Cod P3, Nico P4, Alessio P5, Flipalista P6, P7 for Rothwell, P8, Killian, that guy P9, Alex P10,
Alex V10,
and
Helios
Alex
P11.
P11, P12 for Padge, P13 for Wismitten, and P14 for Ethan, who was not able to get a valid lap on his on dry tyres, so he will be starting from the back of the grid, which might be a decent place for him. Of course, the big talking point from that qualifying session is not only that Nico, Deflated Wee, Cod, and Leo all being within a tenth of each other, as well as Leo getting on pole position. Nico very happy to be in that fight. Understandable, you are very, very competitive today, my friend, and I really hope you can convert this into a win. It is looking very, very overcast on the track right now. Now we do enter our 3 minute break in which we let the drivers, same again as the sprint, we let our drivers do whatever they need to do to get ready for the feature race. Now, onto the talking point. Well, I want to get your predictions in the chat first of all. I want to see what you guys think is going to be the top three. Of course, though, it's probably going to be a mix of that top four in qualifying. But what strategies are we expecting to see today, Mr. Tacit?
Well, Mr. Sox, we're looking at a one-stop predominantly for pretty much every driver on the grid, as you said previously. We've seen with Cold Camper on Tuesday, as I was saying, also myself doing the two-stop, it simply didn't work. He did not gain enough time. I think he had to gain X amount, quite a fair few amount of seconds a lap just to catch up to Deflated Wee, and the end was nigh by the end.
Yeah, exactly. So you're probably looking at a mix of either, or it'd be a medium to hard or a hard to medium. Of course, that guy on Tuesday's race did attempt to try the hard medium, but when he was coming into the pit lane on lap 16, he did get a puncture on the entry to the technical last corner. So he was unable to convert that hard medium strategy into a podium place. But Cod Camper did try the two stop, and it does look like the faster race strategy here might be the medium hard tyre, where you pit around lap 11, 12, 13 and take those hard tyres to the end of this race and just try and suffer on the tyres when the tyre wear gets to 60, 70 and maybe even 80%, depending how good you are on your tyres. Ethan in the chat is also promising no rain, which is very unfortunate. I think we all would have loved to have seen some rain. The soft tyres looking very useless unless there is a late safety car again, like it was in Abu Dhabi, I believe it was.
Yeah, we will have to see, and a reminder to Ethan and any other people racing, have the right setup on, please. Or, sorry, I should say, modify your setup as we have park firmly on, so it's correct. And we go in 60 seconds time.
Exactly, we're all looking forward to this. But Tacit, what are your predictions? Of course, we're going to commentate as Kirsten, but what are your predictions?
Well, I'm gonna have to tempt my best friend Fate here, and I'm gonna say Nico does get a podium. I'm gonna say it's going to be a win for Cod Camper. He's going to pull it off somehow with Deflated Wheat in second, and I think Ethan will make some sort of comeback to around sixth or fifth place, should the race be in his favour. Although we've also got other drivers I think could challenge Killian, Rothwell, and Alessio, other quality drivers in the field, who will make it tough for anybody to climb up the order and achieve anything in that midfield.
Exactly, it's looking very, very close, and maybe with a safety car in there, it can all change up. But we are looking now at being underway. So now we are underway for the formation lap, and as expected, the majority of drivers have selected to start on the medium compound of tyre. The only four not to being Alessio, that guy, as that guy did on Tuesday. So he's trying it again, but he's going to try and not get a puncture. And Padge and Wismet from the back of the grid looking to maybe make up some ground with a longer strategy.
Yeah, we will have to see though. It's very close for all the drivers. The game suggesting an alternate strategy of a 3-stop race starting on the soft. That is not something we should do. Obviously, they're saying it's sponsored by AWS. Many other sponsors available, including our lovely Ritz, who has got help. He helps out sponsoring races time by time. He's an amazing person. However, focusing on this amazing racing we've seen on track on Tuesday when I was commentating with the amazing Willow as well. In no assist, it was close on the start, and I'm presuming it should be some more great action on lap one.
Exactly, you're looking for. We're seeing how much this experience, the difference in experience from maybe being at the front of the grid might allow DeflatedWee and Cod Camper to jump Leo from the start. Of course, this is Leo is very new to the league, and he got a pole position on his debut in Belgium before the mid-season break. However, he did retire from that race, so he's hoping for not the same today, and he's hoping to maybe use that Alpine superiority compared to the Saubers, who you would expect not to team with each other. They are fighting for the championship. I don't think there's going to be any Hulk rules.
But yeah, we'll have to see, so since now we have the race started. We've got the last drivers up to the grid, and it is round 12 in Miami, just in a few moments' time. We will not cut to an ad break like Sky Sports though. Right, the F1 lights are just about to go out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And we're underway in Miami for round 12 of the Realistic Tier Championship. A lot of tyre screeching off the line. So now we're almost going 4 wide into the first corner. Leo, a bit of scuffling, 3 wide on the exit. Bit of wheel banking there as DeflatedWee goes into pole position. Cod Camper fighting back as well as Leo. He's got back to first place. Nico fighting behind. But we've got Alex behind him. Dropped down to P14. Now, unlucky for him at the start, but now Leo again leading DeflatedWee and Cod Camper and the rest of our field. Through the first corners, it was very close though. And slight wheel banging on the exit turns 1 and 2, but it has been mostly clean so far. But now Leo setting the pace up front, leading our long DRS train. Alex will be looking to get more of a comeback on that start. We've also got that guy overtaking Prince Helios to get P10 as well.
Yeah, it was a great start. It was a very, very interesting start there from the top 3. Prince Helios getting past that guy for P10 and that guy looking at retaking the position, and maybe go side by side there. Prince Helios maybe getting caught out there, a bit of contact between the two cars. But at the front of the grid, it was very interesting to see that they almost went 3 wide into turn 2. DeflatedWee being very smart and backing out of that, realising that it is only lap 1 and you cannot win a race on lap 1. As you can see in the background, it looks like Flipilista is going to go for a move on Rothwell as he uses his maybe superior straight line. Rothwell getting very, very bad traction on the exit. Leo saying the fast step of the race, but Flipilista making his way through on Rothwell for now.
Yeah, we've also got who's got P4 right now. He's been recharging throughout the last lap on his battery pack. Naturally, I cannot list his charge, but it's interesting to see him relative to those in the top 4. But after the events happening between the end, roughly the beginning of lap 2, Alessio was dropping from the DRS range at the start of the start-finish straight. It was 8-10 gap salts.
Exactly, as you saw from the start of the race, Alex did have a sort of round by. I think Rothwell is being overtaken by both Killian and Ethan. Ethan having a great start. It looks like going into the wall maybe, but it's not. Ethan does not have any damage, maybe trying to use a bit too much of the track that doesn't exist. but he has made the move on Rothwell and is going to be looking at maybe working with or making a move on Killian. Of course, we did see in the sprint race that too much battling can cause you to lose the train, and there is a train of 11 cars. So if from first down to 11th, with Wizard Mitten trying to get back in the train, however, is very difficult to catch back up, and Philippalista having a very shaky starters, a very shaky final corner on the traction zone, but Alessio's cluster of drivers setting fast laps, Alessio being the one that currently has it with a 30.576. Right now it's just very calm, but drivers very close together trying to look at just maybe trying to survive for now. So you can see they're entering the long left-hander now through sector 1, and it's all going to be about tyre saving. I don't think there's going to be any try for any silly moves or aggressive moves. It's just not worth it as it currently stands to try and make a move when it is not necessary. They've still got 26 laps left of this race remaining. Camper's teammate, DeflatedWee, having a look at Leo into turn 11, but not close enough to make a move. Alessio not really making up any places, but he's not losing any on those hard tyres. That guy has fallen down the order quite a bit.
Yeah, and Leo pulling away by 7/10 on the start of this DRS, so DeflatedWee naturally going to catch a lot. But he is, I think, recharging that battery pack, same with him and his teammate, and Nico as well behind, which is a significant train stretching from P1 to P10. So
something that should be stated while this race is going on, even though we refer to Cod Camper and DeflatedWee as teammates, as Cod Camper looking to overtake DeflatedWee right now, and they go side by side, pushing DeflatedWee onto the curb, and Cod Camper going slightly wide together. Cod Camper will be ahead of DeflatedWee. It is important to state that while these guys are teammates for the evening, there is no Constructors' Championship in realistic tier as it currently stands, and there won't be one for this season. So maybe we're looking to figure out a way of getting it implemented for next season, but right now there is no teammates. They're just in the same car because they are around the same pace level. DeflatedWee looking very nicely there to the inside, but not able to make a move. It's a very big switch over to the left-hand side of the track for DeflatedWee, maybe looking at overtaking Cod Camper, maybe just trying to scare him a bit, but nothing was able to come of the move yet. But Cod Camper now with DRS, is he going to look at making a move on Leo, or is he just going to allow Leo to push the train further forward? As you can see, Leo is getting further away. That gap is growing ever so slightly until it starts falling. That guy managing to get past Rothwell. Rothwell maybe struggling as it currently stands. Padge also getting past Wizard Mitten for P12. Of course, point positions do go down to P15 in this league, so it does mean that every driver that finishes this race will score a point in this race.
a slight slap for Leo there through the turn 2 inside cone. Slight.
And as you can see, there is now a gap in the train formed in between Rothwell and Prince Helios, as Wisman gets the first 3-second time penalty of the sprint, the feature race. I believe he also got the first one, or one of the first ones in the sprint race as well. But hopefully the gaps won't be as small with the feature race as they were with the sprint race. So hopefully he won't lose any positions. Rothwell getting past that guy into turn 11 and staying ahead through Mickey Mouse. That guy just backing out for now while he's on the hard tyres. His time will come in maybe around 5 laps time.
Yeah, 5 laps time indeed. I agree with that conclusion there, Socks, but it just seems to be a large DRS train as it stands. Nothing more, nothing less.
Exactly. Current best position gainer of the race so far has been Ethan. He is up 6 positions after starting from the back of the grid, as he did not set a valid final run. He's at the back or in the mix of this train now, which does now lead to the back of that guy. So that guy able to catch up to the train. But no one is trying anything. The gap between Leo and Cod Camper has stayed around 7/10 at the moment. Of course, Leo did DNF from the sprint race. He was also saying that the Alpine is a bit atrocious, so he is looking at putting the championship leader of Cod Camper and DeflatedWee in for a run for their money, as they will try and figure out how to beat Leo to the win. As it look very, very closely to the wall there. No one hitting it as it currently stands, as I will wait for the commentator's curse to hit in about 3 laps time.
The commentator's curse to drive for safety car around lap 13 would be an interesting proposition. I'd like to see some more action, and our driver strategy be put to doubt, as obviously the majority of them have been using mediums from the start onwards. Few are like Alessio on the hard, but to use my commentator's curse to this round, I would like to see what happens with that.
Exactly, as we enter lap 7 of this race. We're about maybe 4 laps out before we start seeing the medium drivers coming in for their pit stops, and which will allow Alessio into the lead of this race. He has gone for the alternate strategy, and is he one of the only...
Sorry, just to butt in, Socks, I just realised Wizard Mitten actually has a penalty. I don't know if we thought that out earlier.
Yes, he got it about 2 laps ago. I think during the S section it was. So just taking a bit too much of the curbing. But Leo is taking a strong commanding lead of this race, and even though he DNF'd from the sprint race, he is still getting the hold of the Alpine that he doesn't seem to like.
The Alpine doesn't seem to like, but the Alpine he is cooking it right now.
Exactly, that gap between him and Cod Camper is staying at 7/10. So Cod Camper, maybe the Sauber is more harsh on its tyres than we originally thought. Of course, DeflatedWee has been in and around the Saubers and the Hasses during the season, so he doesn't have as much experience in, as we've got our first driver coming into the pit stop. So a very early pit stop there for Nico. He is on the pad, so maybe he is having to force himself into the 2-stop, as you will not be able to take those tyres 20 laps. So we're already seeing a difference in strategy. Maybe if there is a safety car in about 10 laps time, then that will allow Nico to be very, very handy for the last 8 laps of this race, if we get one in about 10 laps time.
Yeah, Nico is going to carve through the field as Wizard Mitten gets his second 3-second time penalty, but he will be so much faster than those who will be getting near, but he will have the handicap of having to box again.
Exactly, as DeflatedWee getting close enough to Leo. There's contact between the two. DeflatedWee sticking it around the outside and does make the move on the Alpine driver of Leo. So that did I say DeflatedWee made the move? Sorry, apologies. Cod Camper making the move on Leo into turn 11. So DeflatedWee now looking to try and maybe make a move on Leo himself. As I say that, Leo does make the move, and Cod Camper looking at being passed by DeflatedWee. DeflatedWee is on the inside, and DeflatedWee will make the move stick. So now it is his turn to try and catch up to Leo, who comes into the pit stop along with the the Aston Martin, so Leo and Flipperlist are coming in at the same time, committing themselves to the two-stop, which, if we know from as we know from Tuesday, is not the preferable strategy, but is maybe the one strategy that they've had to force themselves onto because their tyre wear is just too high. The DeflatedWee will now lead us round of this train. We'll see how Flipperlista and Leo, who have pit for another set of mediums, so we'll go maybe another 8 laps and then pit to a set of hards or softs. The softs are very, very grainy here, so I really doubt they will try and utilise them unless there is a really late safety car.
Yeah, well, with 20 laps, the fight is still very close. As obviously we've got Leo has got recently overtaken Nico, the net leaders, I should say, perhaps fighting with each other into a major braking zone through now the tight section of the track.
Yeah, Leo getting his way through on Nico into turn 11. Flipperlista also getting past Alex, and I believe Alessio getting past Camper into the final corner. So those medium tyres are now looking like they are not as quick and have grain more than the hard tyres. Maybe Camper struggling just a bit too much as we go. Look at his onboard, and you can see when we get to the sunny sections of the track that those tyres are on the bookend of their life. But then Camper may be trying to hold on for a one-stop, as he will not be able to. He will definitely struggle taking tyres to the end from this point, those hard tyres. Alex coming in for his hard tyres, so committing to a two-stop as Leo getting past Prince Helios on the left-hander, as Nico also getting past Wizard Mitten on his fresh hard tyres. You've got a range of strategies. Of course, you've got the train at the front still from 1st to 7th, with Padge 7.7 seconds back, as Nico getting past Prince Helios in Mickey Mouse, not too far from the... Oh no, that's in Florida. Disney World's in Florida. I'm thinking of Universal. They're not too far away from Mickey Mouse's Camper now pulls into the pit lane. He's activated the undercut here, and he's going to try and push to the end. That guy also coming in, so that guy committing to a two-stop, as he will not be able to take the medium tyres to the end. Leo setting the fastest lap of this race at 30.4, as Padge also comes in for his pit stop in the Red Bull garage. Now back up to the front of the grid, you do have the top 5 within a train. Rothwell doing very well to stay part of this train. Of course, he has raced a lot of times in the Ferrari this season in realistic tier, so he will know a lot about the car. He's doing well to stay in the train with Ethan, who has gained 10 positions, as Flipperlista making a move on Camper and Helios, but Camper making a double move there, I believe, on Flipperlista and Helios. No, Camper definitely making his fresh tyres work for him and make his way back to the front train, as he has activated the undercut. So we are maybe expecting DeflatedWee to come in this lap, but he does not. But Killian does not.
Ethan struggling with the tyre wear as well. He loses the DRS to Alessio.
Yeah, Ethan losing out on DRS to Alessio, but we'll see if he can try and claw his way back in, as Leo does and Nico do get ahead, but Camper also gets ahead, so the undercut proving very, very good round this Miami track. So Killian comes out in P9 just ahead of Prince Helios on his 11 lap old medium tyres. So we will be expecting DeflatedWee, Ethan, Rothwell to lose out on places as Alessio goes very, very deep on DeflatedWee. Very, very.
DeflatedWee around the outside as well, and it's sorry to buzz in there, so but it's a close one. He overtakes in the tightest section of the lap.
Exactly, Alessio knowing that he went deep there, so not trying anything there, knew that DeflatedWee was going to make his way back past, but might just be costing him time to Cod Camber. We know the undercut is very powerful round here, so we'll see how much time this top four will lose. Alessio is on the hard tyres, so DeflatedWee having to defend just a bit, Wismit getting another 3-second time penalty. DeflatedWee now comes in for his pit stop, following by Ethan, who also comes in. Rothwell will continue on for probably one more lap. He is just within DRS as it currently stands, as DeflatedWee will go on to the hard compound tyres. He's attempting to do the one stop, as we will find out where he comes back out alongside Ethan. He will come out in P8 just ahead of that guy, but Ethan was jumped by that guy, so Alessio will lead the way as it currently stands. He's got Rothwell just within DRS, who you imagine will be coming into the pits very, very soon. Those mediums probably crying for their life, I gotta be honest. As you look on his on-board, you can see that there is a lot of
Graining.
yeah, a lot of graining. Unfortunately, this is not a field, but it is a tyre. So you're not going to be making bread from this grain. But Alessio leading away. Currently, DeflatedWee trying his best to catch up to Killian, who pit a lap earlier than him, is leading a 3-car train. Battle for P8 as it currently stands, but will Rothwell come in? Rothwell does come in, which will unleash one of the 2 stoppers in Leo back into P2, which allows Alessio to still be leading this race, but he's got no DRS to be helped with. Nico and Cod and Flipperlister would all be able to jump Rothwell, and Rothwell looking like he'll come out in about P10. Wismitten getting a 10-second time penalty, so that is Wismitten does decide to retire from this session, which does mean that Alex is now the sole McLaren left in the race.
Yeah, he's the sole McLaren left in the race, and to reference your bread comment earlier, Stokes, you may need to use Anthem going to help that, but we now have Alessio, the sole survivor, on the hard. Whilst he is 4.3 seconds ahead, that lead will cut down significantly, as I'd imagine he'll be boxing in the next couple of laps.
Exactly, and when it comes to battles on track, you've got the DeflatedWee trying his very best to catch up to Killian in the Williams, as he is just on the outside of DRS as it currently stands. Ethan getting past that guy in a very interesting place. I wish I'd seen that overtake on camera. I reckon that would have been a lovely, lovely move, but we were not able to catch that, so apologies for that, but looking like a very very nice move there from Ethan. So we're kind of just waiting at the moment for this race to get back in. DeflatedWee setting a very, very scrumptious fastest lap of a 30 exactly, a 1 minute 30 exactly. Chef's kiss to DeflatedWee.
Flat lap time is very satisfying for the eyes, but will it be satisfying for his race? He's catching him and Killian on Flipperlister, catching that train perhaps of the leaders. Well, not the train per chance, but definitely Cod Camber.
Exactly, and Killian now at the back of Flipperlister, who is doing the two-stop. He's on 6-lap old medium tyres, so Killian making light work of the Aston Martin. DeflatedWee just choosing to hold back, and it's DeflatedWee contact between the two. DeflatedWee has not got wing damage, but that's contact between Flipperlister and DeflatedWee. So that has meant that Killian has managed to just escape out of DRS of Flipperlister. But DeflatedWee is not going to be a happy bunny. He is very lucky to have escaped that without damage. From the looks of it, I can't see if there's any slight end plate damage, but DeflatedWee will now send it down the inside as Lesio will come in this lap and unleash Leo back into first place. So DeflatedWee making his way past Flipperlister and is now getting ready to be, or is now on the back of Killian. We'll see what Alessio can do with those fresh tyres and see if he can make places up. He's currently just over 5 seconds back from Rothwell as it currently stands. We're now seeing more trains start to form. DeflatedWee looking like he's going to carry a couple of these drivers maybe to the front of the pack, as he will have the superior pace on those fresh, hard tyres.
Yeah, as Ethan also overtakes Flipperlister into the braking zone. I think Killian created a slight by there. Killian, I think, dropping back to P5.
Yeah, DeflatedWee got past Killian into the turn 11, which is one of the main overtaking opportunities on this track. Ethan, I believe, also got past Flipperlister. So now maybe these three can all work in tandem to try and make their way back up to Camper. They've got a 3.8 second gap to do so. Or maybe when it comes to the undercut that Camper made, will they be able to catch up when Camper's tyres go off? Someone coming into the pit lane. Flipperlister coming into the pit lane. Ethan has ruined DeflatedWee's satisfactory fastest lap.
DeflatedWee.
Yes, DeflatedWee.
Well, Ethan is setting the pace, so clearly he's now the fastest lap, faster than DeflatedWee's scrumptious 30.0 now to the 24-minute 2090 with his race pace in Miami.
Exactly, it's all looking very calm in the battle for P4. They've gained 0.5 of a second on Camper, who is on the back of Nico and within DRS range. We expect to see Leo maybe in this lap, which will unleash Nico into the lead, but I believe Nico is also doing the two-stop strategy. I do not believe his tyres will go to the end, as Wismitten is in our chats speaking his opinions about this track, and he is not a big fan of it, as it was very vocalised with everyone. Camper getting past Nico into the hardest braking zone. Rothwell also getting past that guy with the use of DRS as well. Wismitten is out of the session. Nico, as suspected, coming into the pit lane. Maybe come in slightly earlier on those hard tyres than maybe I would have expected. This will push him down to about P10, as Alessio sits the fastest lap of a 29.571. As Padge also comes in as well. Prince Helios has managed to get past Alex as well at that point. Ooh, battle for the front. Camper has got past Leo with the use of DRS. So gap from DeflatedWee to Leo is now down to 2.8 seconds. Leo is on those ridiculously old hard compound, medium compound tyres. He will be pitting for hard compound tyres. Codcamper looking like he's going to set his personal best lap of this race. But we'll see if Leo decides to come in and will unleash. He looked maybe for a move, Leo did, but he did not decide to make it, as Leo will come into the pit lane for his final pit stop of the race, which now will unleash DeflatedWee into P2. He has a 3-second gap to catch up. He's got 2 lap fresher tyres than Codcamper, so maybe we're not seeing the pace difference right now, but maybe when we get to the last couple of laps, DeflatedWee might be able to use his tyre and pace advantage to get up to the back, and maybe we'll find that DeflatedWee will use Codcamper's struggling, if it happens, for his race win. Leo getting a 3-second time penalty. That's not what Leo would have wanted. Gap is now down to 2.1 seconds between DeflatedWee and Codcamper, but the one person that's being really helped by this is Killian. Killian pitted in between, in the laps in between Codcamper and DeflatedWee. However, he is within DRS of DeflatedWee and has been for a considerably long amount of time. So when it comes to it, he is in prime position to get that P3 podium, as it is a 1-2 for the Kick Sauber team.
Yeah, now obviously with 20 out of 29 laps, it's very close, and I dare say Ethan obviously has probably had one of the better performances of the race, going from last to fourth. That is certainly impressive, and now he is challenging, perhaps if he can catch up. But yeah, we also have Rothwell as well, who had a tough Tuesday, and he's also challenging as well for 5th and 4th place.
Exactly, as gap is now 1.5 seconds between DeflatedWee and Codcamper. Ethan is 3 seconds back of Ethan, but he does have Rothwell behind him, who pitted a lap later than the Alpine driver, so maybe them two will maybe consider working in tandem. They do not want to be spending their time battling loads, but the man that needs to be considered, Alessio, is the only man to do the alternate strategy of a one stop and start on the medium compound of tyre. So we'll have to see when it comes. We'll come to see his tyres will maybe be going off in about 5-6 laps time. So maybe this strategy will not work in his favour, as he might be entering puncture territory. But Rothwell overtakes Ethan with the use of DRS. Oh, Ethan's in the wall. Ethan is in the wall.
Oh my god, I don't love the commentator's curse.
Yeah, I was focusing on Rothwell and I hear the wall graining, and it turns out it was Ethan who decides to retire from this race. He came in for a pit stop and knows that the one stop is the viable strategy, so Ethan has decided to retire from this race. We were spectating Rothwell, so I completely missed it, so apologies for that, as Rothwell did make the move on the penultimate couple, on the big braking zone at the end of the DRS straight, and then we hear contact with the wall, so it looks like Ethan might have had traction, as Ethan is in our chat saying he's going to crash out more than he has in this race and on Tuesday combined.
I dare say that's the biggest case of commentator's curse ever.
Yeah, it's a big case of commentator's curse. So Rothwell is on his own on track, basically waiting to see if Alessio can catch up with his fresher, quicker tyres, which they will be for about 5 laps time, as back up to the front of the grid now, Cod Camper is within, or is ahead of and within DRS of DeflatedWee. So DeflatedWee is maybe looking at switching positions, not allowing Killian to attempt anything. Of course, Cod Camper and DeflatedWee are trying for the first realistic tier Drivers' Championship. As Ethan is in the chat describing what happened, he apparently spun into the chicane, got damage, and then he just lost all traction from minor wing damage, which is what sent him into the wall, causing him to retire from this race. And it would be a real shame right now for Ethan if there was a safety car. And if there is one case where I want commentators curse to be true, it is this, because I would love for there to be a safety car. We had not seen a safety car this week in Miami in realistic tier or no assist as it currently stands. But potentially with 7 laps left, it is still possible. DeflatedWee getting past Cod Camper with the use of DRS. We'll see how long this goes. Cod Camper, my apologies, going deep, and this is going to allow Killian to having a slight look. Ethan hoping for his win. Ethan, if you what's the saying here?
All things in good time.
Yeah, all things in good time, and then just don't expect it. Don't hope for it, and then it will come to you when you least expect it.
Take it from me, expectations can be the death of you.
Exactly, as that guy sets the fastest lap of the race. Because my first win in Monaco came out of nowhere. Because Monaco is one of my best tracks on the F122 game. So I went out and had a lovely battle with Deton for the entirety of the race and just somehow did it and got my first pole there as well. But back up to the grid, the track, as it currently stands, Cod Camper is still loathing behind DeflatedWee, trying to make his hard tyres one last to the end, and two, seeing if he can make a move at any given point in time. But it is now looking increasingly more likely as that gap does decrease, and maybe Cod Camper's tyres have just gone up on off just enough that way DeflatedWee can extend his pull on. As I don't know if that's just the line I'm taking, but it does look like Cod Camper goes slightly deeper and not as good of an exit as you would hope. Prince Helios getting a 3-second time penalty.
Yeah, I must admit, I've had my fair. I know, obviously, I've got the pace myself, so I'd imagine just have to give it time, just like with Ethan. Got an unlucky result he's had there today. All things in good time for many people, including us, in this league, and this wonderful action on track. I will go back to focusing on, as the other side was leading out, Killian, a previous winner here in the realistic tier, when I think he was in the house, was it the other week? Was it at Abu Dhabi? I can't remember.
Yes, he was in the Williams in a good battle with Max for the race win.
In what some have described in our community as one of the best races the entire season, which is obviously something that happens so many times here in our amazing realistic team.
Exactly, as Wizardmitten is in the chat saying that his best race of the season is going to be our season finale in Singapore in a month's time.
It's crazy to think that all good things such as the amazing race, I mean, amazing for the end time, are coming to the end so soon.
Exactly, of course, we have strayed away for our Cod Camper and DeflatedWee looking like they're going to fight in the final corner. This camera angle is not amazing, but Cod Camper does set it in behind. But yeah, we have strayed away from using the real life calendar the whole 24 race season, and we have moved to a 15 round season of using the real life tracks where they line up, and like with this week there is no real life race, so we do have a random track which the spin of the wheel elected Miami as the choice for round 12, and the drivers of the league elected it to be a sprint race, which turns out to be the biggest mistake of them all, as it means you have to drive this track twice, which of course did not go down well. But we still managed to have 14 drivers for this race. As in that, we are down to what will be the last 4 laps after DeflatedWee crosses the finish line, and maybe it's time that Killian is maybe looking for a way through, because it doesn't seem as the gap is still on 0.7 of a second. That Cod Camper is going to catch up to DeflatedWee, so this win is looking very, very likely for DeflatedWee right as it currently stands.
Yeah, DeflatedWee looking to gain another win here in this league on his 293rd start. He's looking to get his milestone 35th victory, the most experienced man in IIRL.
Exactly, it's not looking like Killian maybe has the tyre wear to get past Cod Camper, so it might very well be that they are either playing the strategy or just trying to find a way to stay quite comfortable as it currently stands, and maybe wait to pounce on the last couple of runs, like with Battery as they get it back. As Ethan has decided to leave his car, as now Rothwell is within DRS, so maybe Rothwell, he went 2 laps later, but now he's got two laps fresher tyres than Killian, 3 lap fresher tyres than Cod Camper, and 1 lap fresher tyre than DeflatedWee. So maybe Rothwell is in for a chance of a podium as well.
Yeah, Rothwell podium would be an amazing result. I would not tempt fate like I did with Ethan, but so I will leave my words there. But it's very close. I think we've seen some fighting rather than Alessio again. Is that a double overtake on Leo and Flippalista as well?
Yeah, Alessio, Nico, and Leo fighting. Alessio being passed by Nico, as well as Leo now looking for it down the inside, but not able to make anything stick, as for some reason my Twitch stream on my laptop is getting very, very buggy, so it's making me very scared that the stream is lagging, but I really hope not, otherwise you'll be missing out on this action. But anyway, back, we'll make do with what we can. Rothwell is within 0.5 of Killian, so maybe trying to look for the perfect opportunity to spread his way through and try and spread Killian open. That sounded much better in my head than it did out my mouth, but you know, we move. Leo also getting past Alessio, so this strategy has not worked out in the best way for Alessio, and Alessio now looking like he might have to settle for P7, or it will be P6 when he crosses the line because of Leo's penalties. Speaking of penalties, we will go through them. Leo has 6 seconds, Prince Helios has 3, and Alex has 6 seconds worth of penalties.
Yeah, well, it is very close so far. Obviously, on the penultimate lap for our leaders. We have DeflatedWee out front, pardon me, P2, and Rothwell contending with the belt. We'll be looking to fight for a podium here today. He's got, well, he is actually about to face the milestone, 10th podium on his 61st race start.
As the Aston Martin's fighting into turn 1, that guy managing to get past his teammate for the evening in Flippalista. That guy did do the two-stop strategy. Rothwell is now increasingly more close to the back of Killian, and even though they all have DRS to each other, Rothwell now looking, but he is not able to make the move. But up at the front, Camper making moves, but there is contact
Rothwell
between the
also
two.
challenging for P4. Sorry, so he's looking for Killian around the
That
outside.
is fine. There was contact between DeflatedWee and Camper. Nothing looked too serious about it. They are still in the running order that they were. But maybe Camper will be hoping that now that Nico is in this fight, Nico with the two-stop strategy is in P5 and Leo is in P6, but they're all in this fight for the final lap of this race. Do not go anywhere. As there is a lock-up! There's a lock-up there from Camper! Oh no, it's from, yeah, Campa's now dropped down to P4! Oh my
Rothwell, oh my god. Oh no, but he has to cut the track.
Contact!
Oh, but Camper, and
There's
then he overtakes
contact
him. It's fault. There's so much fighting here from
Oh
this
no,
straight, and
my
then we've
god!
got Nico fighting as well. He's going to get P4. Oh my god, I think they all put 4 wide. That is the craziest thing I've
This has
ever
now
seen.
turned into a two-horse race because of Camper locking up. This fight is now between Killian as Nico gets past. As there is a yellow flag. That is Leo has had an issue. So that does promote him. That does mean that Nico is on for a podium. Rothwell also around the outside, maybe looking at a move on Camper. There is a 1.2 second gap between Nico and Killian, so it does look like this battle is going to be between DeflatedWee and Killian for the race win. DeflatedWee looking to put all his defensive extremities. Rothwell has made the move on Camper, but Camper will look around the outside. Rothwell looking very, very nice there. They're still side by side, but Rothwell able to make the move on Camper and going into the final straight of this race. It is going to be Killian or DeflatedWee who has got enough battery for this win. Killian has the DRS. He is burning. DeflatedWee goes defensive, but he is not close enough with the lock-up from
the inside.
DeflatedWee, but Killian is not close enough, so this win will be for DeflatedWee. With all that battling, Killian goes P2, Nico P3, Rothwell P4, Camper P5, maybe his tyres just gone off too much at the end, Leo P6, but Alessio will take P7, that guy P8, Flippet Lister P9, Prince Helios will cross the line P10, but Padge will inherit it.
Oh yeah, podium, yes. Podium, penalties. I was distracted by that amazing fighting there. That would be an overtake of the season, then type of thing there.
Yeah, Padge gaining P10. Yeah, Nico, that was a great recovery drive on the worst strategy. I don't know how you made it possible, but Alex will be the last driver to cross the line. He will He will cross the line P12 and gain, I think, 4 points. But that was a smashing end. Even though the drivers may hate the track, it still can produce good racing when the time comes.
Yeah, I must admit that was a slight snooze fest for part of the race, but the last 2 laps, folks, were just some of the best racing I think I've seen in the realistic too since Abu Dhabi.
DeflatedWee on the podium again. This is his 2nd win in the row as Nico pulling out. There are 2 Austrians on the podium. When will we see that again? Maybe next week when we go to Baku. We go back to Baku.
Yes. And now we have the assist here race will be broadcast to you, hopefully by your usual double of DeflatedWee and Snaps if they aren't available. But that will be the next race, and then it will be me and potentially someone else, if not for the round in Azerbaijan next week. Oh, it is just going to be, I think, just me for Azerbaijan streaming next week.
But that is it for the feature race there. DeflatedWee winning, Killian getting P2 at the end of it there after starting P8. Nico P3 in both races. Rothwell P4, Kokampa P5 falling out at the end. Alessio P6, Leo P7, that guy P8, Flipperlister P9, Padge P10, Helios P11, Alex P12, and Ethan and Wizardmitten DNFing from this race. Wow, that was one amazing end to the race. I was not expecting the race to be that good. Of course, you did, as Tacit said, there were some snoozy sections in the race where we were hoping and praying that strategies were going to come into favour. But at the end of it, I don't think that was a bad race.
I think that was a very entertaining race at the end.
Well, I'm not going to complain about the race. I mean, we came into it with low expectations, but coming out of it, I don't see anything wrong.
I agree.
But that does mean that DeflatedWee, I think, yeah, after getting P2 in the sprint race and the race win, will now will gain 4 points on Cod Camper going into Baku next week, which the gap is now at 41 points. So maybe if one of them can have a little incident, maybe or one of them misses a race, that the title is all in open favour. But Nico, you got a double overtake on Cod and Rothwell. I can't wait to see that. And you got most overtakes. Congratulations. Thank you very much, Nico. I hope you enjoyed that race and your double podium finish. But that is going to be it from myself and Tacit on this evening. As Tacit said earlier, a combination or one of DeflatedWee snacks will be with you on Sunday night for the assist tier race round Miami, which it will be the very final sprint of the season. And then Tacit will be with you for no assists on Tuesday for the first race round, or the first round 13 at Baku even. And then if he decides, myself and Tacit, if he decides not to race, we'll be back with you for next week. In Baku, all times will be at 7:30 p.m. UK time. Other time zones are available. Please check with your clocks and watches if you would like to figure out the time. But on that note, Tacit. I'll pass you over to Tacit for a second.
Yep. I'm here. I'm just waiting for you to call my name.
Yeah.
Well, as you do, it's a goodbye from me.
And it's a goodbye from me, and we will catch you. We'll catch you on next week, and come back with us on Sunday if you would like to join the league. We can get you invitations. That is it from Tacit. You can say bye again,
Goodbye.
and that is it from me. Goodbye.